Hey, welcome everybody to the second episode of Boys and Ivy. I'm your host, Jason Mead, alongside my son, Mr. Parker Mead. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to the show. You can check us out on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else is floating around out there. We might be there. But we want to welcome you to the show. How you doing, Park Chuck?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Are you excited for our second episode of this thing?
Very excited. Go Cubbies.
Go Cubbies. We want to give first off, we want to give some huge shout outs to some of the guys that shared us on Twitter. We got some really good feedback last night when we put this thing, or it was 2 days ago when we put this thing out. Huge shout out to the guys at the Locked On Cubs podcast, Matt Cozy and Sam Olber. Those guys have been nothing but good to us, and we want to thank them guys. We want to thank the setup man, Kyle Stanley, another big podcaster, and Greg Braggs from the CHGO Sports Chicago podcast. Those guys are real generous, shared our podcast. We got a lot of good views and stuff like that, and hopefully we can keep doing this show and carry on, and hopefully we can grow this thing bigger and bigger. So you pretty excited about that, Park? Those guys are pretty cool.
Yeah. Matt Cozy and Sam Olber, very nice guys, along with the setup man. Very nice. He said he would maybe get on the show. So also we have CHGO Sports Chicago said he would also like to get on. So
And he filmed you. He filmed you at the Cubs convention, didn't he?
Yeah, doing the Sammy Sosa hop.
Yeah.
I guess I could do it.
There he goes. So as you can see, Parker has decided to gear up tonight as Squints from the Sandlot. He's got the bobblehead there. Where'd you get that bobblehead, bud?
Our cousin gave it to us.
Shout out to Jacob Powell. That's even got an auto on the back of his back too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that, Squints.
Yeah.
You know what? You might be able to play the Squints if they come out with a Sandlot Part 2. You kind of look like him a little bit. I'm getting kind of worried. Do you
want to see my intro? Do you want to see my
intro?
Yeah,
so hey, give us your best Squints impression.
Winnie Peppercorn. I can't take this no more.
So you also got a bobblehead of Ian Happ there. And you told me before we got on the show that you lost his bat. You lost Squints' bat. What the heck, man?
Yeah, I lost his bat. And this one comes with two, different accessories. Comes with a golf club. I don't know if Ian Happ golfs, and I just don't know about it.
Well, I assume so, and I know he likes coffee. So
yeah.
You just
hold a cup of coffee. Oh,
you just pulled it. You just pulled the bat out of his back bag and gave it to Squints because you were irresponsible and didn't and lost it. Way to go! Typical 11-year-old, right? So today's preview show, we're going to preview a player that we're really excited about, and that is 5'9", 185-pound Cubs 2023 first-round draft pick out of Maryland, and that is Matt Shaw, who is Matt Shaw ball. Look at that.
That's a real ball.
Look at that. Thing's dirty like you played catch with it before. He even signed it on the sweet spot, on the dirty spot. But he is slated to be the opening day third baseman for the Cubs, and we couldn't be more excited. I was actually kind of hoping he'd get a shot last year at the end when September call-ups came out, but it didn't happen. So I think this kid's going to tear it up. And Parker, do you think he is the right fit for third since he is really a second baseman?
Yes, I actually do. Depends what happens with Nico and that injury, though. If we have to bring up Owen Cassie and maybe move Owen Cassie and try to make him a first baseman, and maybe move Bush over to second and keep Matt Shaw at third. Also, we can have Matt Shaw at second. We can keep Bush at first and maybe try Owen Cassie at third base because at spring training, he did a little bit of third base. So
I think it was
what happens there.
Owen Cassie, he's more slated as an outfield. But if you look at the Cubs outfield, there's a log jam in the outfield with what we got. But we did see Owen Cassie when he played with the South Bend Cubs, we did see him play a little bit of third base. So maybe he can play third base. But I think he could play first. I mean, Michael Busch last year, he came in as a rookie, started a new position, and he did really well. And I think, Owen Cassie's what? How tall is he? 6'3", 6'3", maybe. And there wasn't anybody that deserved a job out of spring training last year more than Owen Cassie. So there's no doubt in my mind that I think that he can play that. But I like Matt Shaw at third base. Obviously, he could probably play second. Bush could play second as well, and any of those options could happen. But we'll see what goes on. I think Bush is the right fit going forward for us. Dude's built like a bulldog. I mean, he's jacked. He can, and also another thing is third base. We need a power bat. Do you agree?
Yeah, we had Nick Madrigal over there for a little while. Then we got Paredes, but Nick Madrigal, sorry to say, was not the best hitter. He did okay. He had some few hits here and there. He played really good at third. He played really good at third. He gives hopes for the little guys, and so does Matt Shaw. He's only 5'9". But
so you still got a chance, pal.
But yeah,
you start eating some more chicken and stuff.
Matt Shaw does have a better bat, though. I don't know if he's a better defender, though. I think Nick Madrigal's got him on that, but Matt Shaw's still a good defender. I mean, we'll see what happens at that third base spot. I'm kind of excited to see how he does. So,
absolutely,
and he had great stats in the minor leagues.
So you met him at the Cubs convention, and we saw him on stage during some of the rookie panels, some of the minor leaguers. Well-spoken guy, definitely someone that me as a father would want you to root for and just kind of be like, because he's a super cool guy, down to earth. He very respectable person, and I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he tears it up as a Cub. So Parker, so his stats in the minor leagues. Let's hear them.
121 games played with a 284 batting average. He had 21 home runs, 71 ribbies, 31 stolen bases, and a .867 OPS. And that was for two teams. He had Tennessee and Iowa.
So Tennessee and Iowa, those are pretty good numbers, going into the thing. Like I said, I wish he would have got called up at the end of September last year, but it didn't happen. But before that, when he got drafted, he kind of joined the minor leagues a little bit later. I came up with Tennessee. He might have played with Myrtle Beach a little bit, but a couple of teams there. He buzzed right through. We didn't get a chance to watch him at South Bend. A lot of times we go to the Fort Wayne Tin Caps games, and we watch some of the Cubs players that's on South Bend, and we get to watch some of these younger guys come up through there. Like we seen Pete when he was there, and that's why you're such a big fan. A little backstory about when you did meet Pete. Tell everybody why Pete's your favorite player, just from meeting him in the minor leagues, because we met him after the game that time.
Yeah, I like Pete because I was with my buddy Silo. Give a shout out to Silo. And he came over. He jumped over the dugout fence and was talking. He talked to us for about 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. After the game, he did.
Yeah.
I remember you got Owen Cassie's broken bat, and Pete signed it to Parker from Owen plus Pete. So Pete's got an autograph on it. All you had to do was get Owen Cassie's. And were you able to get that? When did you get it?
I did my first year of going to, or it might have been my second. I think it was the first, but it might have been the second year I went to the Cubs convention. We got him to sign it. Really nice guy, too.
That was pretty cool. So going back to the Nico injury, like I said, Shaw could play there. Or I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen, because I don't know if the Cubs make a trade. I don't know if we come out of the woodworks and sign Bregman, or I don't know what's going to happen. Jed and the guys seem to say that there's more action going to happen. But, I mean, Kyle Tucker was pretty good. I love that. But I really was hoping for more. But we'll just see how that goes. So, we're talking about Owen Cassie. Does he make the opening day roster after having a huge spring last year. Does he make the opening day roster?
It kind of depends how he does this year in spring training too. Maybe he'll get a bench spot. I think if he's gonna make it, I think he'll get a bench spot for opening day. But I think he's still gonna have a great minor league or a great spring training like he did last year.
I do too. I hope so. I hope he makes a roster, gives an extra bat. Like I said, I think he could play a little bit of first base because he is a big target, 6'3". He's a big dude in person too. So and he's got some pop in his bat. He's a good lefty bat, and I really hope he gets his shot this year. I really don't want to see him dump him and get traded because I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he's got a chance to back up or take over for Ian Happ if we do anything with him. I don't know. I think Ian Happ's a Cub for life, man, the way it's going right now. But Parker, I'm going to ask you, if you were Parker Council and you were the manager of the Cubs, what is your opening day lineup?
My opening day lineup would be PCA because he's fast, he can hit pretty well, gets on base. That's the guy to steal base. Nico takes first base at second. So Nico's my second hitter because I think he can drive in runs. I think he takes first pitch, PCA gets the second, and then Nico does the work.
Not only that, but he's got great bat to ball skills. If Pete gets on, we can run a lot of hit and run stuff with him. If he gets the second, he can push the ball to the right side. And guess what else he can do? He can bunt. He can bunt the baseball. You know your dad. I'm a big
little small ball.
Little small ball don't hurt nobody. I mean, I never hit a career home run, never in my life. But you know what? I could pitch. I could play defense. I could lay down a good bunt. I mean, there's nothing to brag about, I guess. I guess the bunting doesn't get the women. But I tell you what, when you move runners along, you don't get like what drives me crazy about the Cubs is that when we're watching them, we get a guy at first and second, we're down by 1 run late in the game. Let's just swing away. Let's not put a bat on the ball, move the runners along. Let's try to flip something here and get a run. But no, we swing away, we ground into double play. And how many times did we see that last year?
A lot of times.
And going back to Shaw, what Shaw gives us too is Paredes. I mean, he had some good pop. But what could Shaw do that Paredes couldn't do?
Hit and everywhere. He can hit it in different spots.
Yeah, so if you get a guy at second base with less than 2 outs or whatever, or even with no outs, he can push the ball to the right side, and that's just one thing that Paredes can do. Now, I think he's going to have a monster year in Houston, hitting that short porch over there. It's like 220 feet or whatever it is. But I think I just think starting Matt Shaw for us, in the future, I think he's going to be a huge asset for us. So
at the third spot, I have Kyle Tucker. My fourth spot, I have See Ya Later, Seiya Suzuki. Then I have Happ. Those 3 guys have some pop. Those 3 guys are great players, can hit. The reason why I have Kyle Tucker at the third spot is because he hits for power. He can also hit for contact. Belly, it was just like phenomenal because he could hit for average and he could hit home runs. He had a 300 batting average. Giving up Cody Bellinger was actually kind of something I was kind of hoping not to, but also at the same time because I also want my boy Pete to play. But Cody Bellinger can hit. He can hit for average. He can also hit for homers. So we'll see how Kyle Tucker does in the third spot. And he's kind of like him, so he can hit for average.
And going back to last year, everybody was like, we got to sign Cody Bellinger. And then we dump him for a dozen of baseballs, pretty much. We dump him for nothing. So, I mean, I like Cody Bellinger too because he had good bat to ball skills. He can move the runners around. And, I think he's going to have a monster year in New York. Who do you got in the 7th spot?
And in the 7th spot? Or no, this is my 6th spot.
Oh, 6th spot.
I got Dansby Swanson. Then I have Michael Busch at 7th. I like Swanson at the 6th spot because he can drive in some players, especially with the pop he has on his bat. He can drive in with the double. He can drive in some runs.
And you
And
got to
also,
call one of his home runs too.
yeah,
You got to call a home run. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
attaboy.
The old
Bush at the
attaboy.
seventh. Bush at the seventh spot because he had a good year last year, but I also think he needs to work on maybe
He
getting a
struck out a
little,
lot. He did
yeah,
strike out a lot.
getting a little better at not striking out a lot, and also maybe getting a little faster so he can also round the bases. So then at the eighth spot, I got Matt Shaw. Matt Shaw, since it's his first year, we got to test him out, see how he does. If he does good, we can maybe move him up more in the future. And then I have Miguel Amaya at the ninth spot, just because we can have a pretty. I mean, he can hit homers.
He
He's
started
pretty good.
heating up there at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
at the end of the year, him and Bethencourt did pretty good. Bethencourt is probably going to be at that ninth spot if he comes in.
I
Or
don't
do
know.
we have Bethencourt anymore?
I think he's out. I think he packed his bags already, pal.
Oh.
That's your lineup.
So,
I think it's pretty good.
So what's your lineup?
Well, me, since this is a coach's mind of me. But all last year, about halfway through the year, I wanted PCA at the top. Why he didn't get a chance to be a leadoff guy, I don't know. Especially that last month of the year where we could have tried him at the leadoff spot, but I don't know what Craig was thinking. Why? I mean, you got a guy like that with that speed and what he's done in the past. So what has he done in the past, Parker, that you know of?
He wins when he is at the first spot.
Everywhere he goes, right?
Yep.
Everywhere he goes, when he was a leadoff guy, they won. In South Bend, they won the championship. Guess who is a leadoff guy? Who is it, Parker? What's his name?
Pete Crow Armstrong. PCA.
All right. Put him at the top, Craig. All right, second spot. I got Kyle Tucker, the new pickup from Houston. Why? Because I think he's the best hitter on this team. I think he's going to have a monster year. Number 3 spot, I got Seiya Suzuki. I think he's going to be able to focus on being a DH and not playing right field because guess what? He can't play right field. I've said it for 2 years. He misreads balls all the time. He drives me crazy. Remember the fly ball he missed against the Brewers? Oh, I lost it in the lights. But not only that, but if you watch him in Major League, in any games, because normally we're sitting up in the nosebleed sections, and I get a good read on him in right field, and he always takes that first step first. A lot of times he don't take the first step back. What do I tell you and your teammates all the time, Park Chop?
First step back.
Back.
Not forward.
Let's say Suzuki in the third spot. I got Ian Happ batting fourth. Why? Because he can hit from both sides of the plate. He's got power. He drove in a lot of runs. He got really hot there at the end of the year last year, driving in a lot of runs. And I got Michael Bush in the fifth spot. Dansby Swanson coming back. I think he's going to have a revenge year. He's going to come back. He's going to be better than ever. He was nagging some injuries last year, but I think he's healthy and he's ready to go. I got Matt Shaw in the seventh spot. And here's where you're like, Dad, what's wrong with you? I got Miguel Amaya in the eighth spot. Why? Because I want Nico in the ninth spot because it gives us a second leadoff guy. Because if we can get Nico on and Pete on and then the thunder rolls, maybe we're going to score some runs. And I'm super excited because guess what? If we can just get 4 or 5 runs a game, our pitching staff last year, how was our pitching staff, Parker?
Really good with Shota Imanaga All-Star.
Dog. Justin Steele. J-Mo. We can just keep them coming. And I think the bullpen really held up. And our closer, the guy that you really like, is who?
Porter Hodge.
Porter Hodge is a beast.
I also I still do Albert Alzolay, but he kind of fell with that injury he had. But, yeah. Is he still
No, he got DFA'd, so he's done. So I like Tyson Miller a lot too in the eighth inning spot. But I think Porter Hodge should definitely get a job as a closer for this team because I thought he earned it there at the end of the season. Now
he was combined with that no hitter, wasn't he?
What's that? Yes. They combined with Shota's.
It was Shota, Porter. Who was the other one?
Man.
In the comments, you guys have to tell us because we can't remember.
I don't know. I like Luke Little a lot too. Big lefty, throws hard. You just got to control a little bit. But I think we'll be fine with him. So, since this is Matt Shaw's show, what is your stat line prediction of Matt Shaw for 2025?
My stat line prediction for Matt Shaw of 2025 prediction is a 257 batting average. You'll see, kind of like Pete, his rookie year. See what happens. 13 home runs, 63 RBIs, and a .679 OPS.
I'll take it. I'll take it for a rookie year. I like it. I like those numbers a lot. But I think he's going to hit a little bit better. I think he's going to go 268, 17 nukes, and 68 RBIs. OPS around the 700 range, but I think he's going to play third base and he's going to be an absolute stud. And within 3 years, I think he's going to be an all-star. That's what I'm excited about. Going back to some of the closers, the stinking Dodgers again. The Dodgers again got Kirby Yates. They signed yesterday, I believe. Cubs offered Tanner Scott. Pretty good, hefty contract, but guess what? The deferred money from the Dodgers came back in swinging and knocked the Cubs out of it. I tell you what. If we ever go to L.A., I think they say the Dodger dog's like $30, right? So if I'm just going to go up to the concession and say, I'm going to defer. I'm going to pay you like 15 years from now for this Dodger dog that you want to do $30 for. Yeah, I'm so sick and tired of the Dodgers getting everybody. Aren't you?
Yeah, but wait a minute. Didn't you say on the last episode that you were going to cut me?
I might have mentioned it, yeah.
So if you're going to cut me, I guess I'm just going to sign with L.A.
Go ahead, kid. Go ahead and sign with L.A. But you're on your own, pal.
Yeah, you better schedule a game.
Yeah, right. I ain't buying your jersey. If you play for the Dodgers, I would root for you when you batted, but I wouldn't. I'm still rooting for the Cubs to win, but I hope you do good. I hope you go 4 for 4, and the Cubs beat the Dodgers like 15-1. That's what I'd hope to see. Go ahead and sign with the Dodgers. But I did say, like when you were younger, you could root for any team. You could root for. So Parker roots for the Bucks. He roots for the referee-loving Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, I said it. Go ahead and tweet it out. I don't care. I said it. But I did say that if he was not a Chicago Cubs fan, it's fly or die, pal.
You better find a new home.
But thank God he's a Cubs fan. He doesn't have a choice, though. Especially if I kicked you out right now. It's 3 degrees. Like, look at me right now. He's got me stuffed in. We don't have a studio, so I'm stuffed in this garage and I'm freezing out here while he's nice and warm in his room.
Yeah, it's pretty Matt cozy in here. That's a shout out. That's a shout out. Shout out to Matt Cozy. Yeah, I'm freezing out here, guys. Woo! Like I said, 3 degrees out here. But anyway, also want to talk about this. The Paul Skeens 101 MLB debut card got hit in California. And what's crazy, not only we got the Dodgers in California, but somebody always hits the Mega Millions in California. Somebody always hits the Powerball in California. And someone hit the Paul Skeens 101 debut card in California. But at least it was a kid that was 11 years old. Oh, no. Dad?
What?
We're not going to be able to sit with the mighty Livy Dawn.
Oh, my God. Our dreams and hopes are shot down. Gosh. What a lucky 11-year-old kid. But what I'm really excited about, I know this is the Cubs podcast. Yeah. But I'm really excited about this right here because it's bear down, baby. Ben Johnson's going to walk across Lake Michigan and lead the Bears to the Super Bowl in 2025, baby. Let's go.
Okay. Hold it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear what you got. You know what? You yak just as much as your mom does. What do you got to say, pal?
Until you make it to 6 NFC championships in a row, I think you can't be talking. And also, you got to win 3 Super Bowls before you catch up to Andy Reid and the Chiefs there, bud.
Oh, yeah. And you keep rubbing that in, the old Patrick Mahomes.
Wait.
The Patrick Mahomes curse.
You guys drafted a man named Mitchell Trubisky over a man named Patrick Mighty Magic Mahomes.
Oh yeah. Guess what? You know the only thing cool about Patrick Mahomes is that his dad used to play for the Cubs. That's the only cool part about Patrick Mahomes. I'm sick and tired. You know what? If you're not a Bears fan by the end of next year, you're out. I'm kicking you out.
What?
You never know. Fly or die, kid. But anyway, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to the second episode of The Boys and Ivy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please share if you would. Help us out. Share us with all your friends, all your Cubs friends. And we, like I said, we just thank you guys for all the love that you give us from the first one, and hope you enjoyed the second one. There's nothing like me doing this podcast with my son. It's something we both love. We love the Cubs, and hopefully we can keep this thing rolling for you this year. But Parker, what do you got to say to the fans?
They're saying now, go Cubs, go. Go Cubs, go.
Hey, Chicago, what do you think?
Say the Cubs are going to win the World Series this year.
Yes, sir. Go Cubs, go! And that's your episode and your preview of a Matt Shaw. We'll see you next time.
This is Boys and Ivy, and we out.
We're out, baby.